See, I had figured that with Tony Quinn on the show, I figured Tony would come out first because he's the bigger star. And well, thank you.
Bob Newhart appeared on Johnny Carson's Tonight Show more than 50 times and somehow found a way to be funnier without trying.
I'm also not here to plug anything. I mean, it's not crass commercialism that brings me here. I enjoy talking to you, and
I know you do.
I'd rather talk at home, but this is a...
These are Bob Newhart's funniest Tonight Show moments, the German impression bit.
And he then comes back, and he's being interviewed on his impressions of Venus or Mars. And he goes to Mars, and they ask him, are they more advanced than we are? And he said, yes, I would have to say they're more advanced. And the interviewer says, how? God bless you. The interviewer says, how far advanced are they? And he says, I would say 6 weeks. 7 weeks. Because I remember...
Newhart turns a simple conversation about accents into a slow-building Carson moment where the laugh sneaks up on the room through pure patience. The Olympic torch routine.
I guess.
And it's carried. You always see the guy running in, you know, in the ancient Grecian dress with the torch. Now it occurred to me, how do you get it from Greece to Montreal? You can't get on a plane with a flaming torch. I mean, security would grab you right away. You know?
It's a tip-off.
I pictured a guy coming up, you know, getting on the plane, and the clerk says, "You're going to have to put your torch out tonight."
Newhart takes the Grand Olympic torch tradition and treats it like a logistical nightmare. All country music is one song.
We're uno, not even a substitute host. The country and western songs, and I'm going to offend a lot of people, but I must say it. I think it's one song. They changed the title, but it's the same song. The dog died and the wife left, and I'm so lonely, and yeah, and that's...
You won't go, man.
Look out now,
What? You must get in.
We may have a hit right now, just what we did.
We just keep doing this. Well, then, cup of coffee, railroad.
Newhart presents the country music theory almost like a research discovery, as if he's carefully studied every song in the genre and reached one unavoidable conclusion. Newhart doesn't need Johnny.
Hot show, you don't need this. You don't need this.
And I'm still here, because I genuinely like you, John.
Well, and
You're starting to tear up, you know that?
Well, I'm emotional underneath.
I didn't even give notes to Craig. Craig usually does my notes. Craig is the worst one to get for notes.
Yes, almost for anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shirley is great, because Shirley laughs.
Right.
But Craig just stands back and says, that's so true. He never laughs.
It makes it easy.
Because people get the feeling that this is not conversation. This is prepared conversation. Mm-hmm. When I was an accountant.
Newhart's quiet confidence becomes a joke at Carson's expense, as Bob's calm delivery makes it feel like he could keep the segment alive without any host involvement whatsoever, begging Johnny Carson not to leave.
No? I'm not going to help you out.
Not forget all. I know you're not. How are you feeling? Good? Everything's
good? Feeling good.
Mrs. Good, is she?
Jenny's fine, yes.
Good.
She's fine. She's, I've been watching the shows, very good, excellent shows.
Thank you. We've had a lot of fun.
I saw Buddy, and it's been, and I know you don't like modeling kind of, things.
We're both the same.
We're very similar. We're from the Midwest, and we kind of hold. Don't go, Don't go, Johnny,
Newhart's farewell appearance turns Carson's retirement into dry panic, as Bob makes Johnny's departure sound like a personal inconvenience for everyone left behind. Bob remembering his worst ever routine.
Also in that same article, People magazine, it said that you remembered almost word for word the worst routine you ever did, which is unusual because people say we usually remember the better things and tend to forget things that
don't
didn't.
Don't you remember the...
Oh, yes.
Yeah. For some reason you remember...
something that just didn't work at all.
Oh, boy. It works out pretty much, I would say, 5 to 1. I mean, for every one that works, there are 4 that don't.
Right.
And I did a routine on a guy who went to, and it may work now because of Star Wars and all that.
Yeah, was this early in your career?
No, it was, Yeah, it was early.
Well, when I mean early, I don't mean just when you were starting, but within, say, the first 10 years.
Newhart talks about his worst routine with the same calm tone other comics use for triumph as he describes failure without embarrassment and studies it like a crime scene. Johnny clearly enjoys the honesty, especially as Bob explains how a bit can die in front of an audience. George Segal teaches Newhart and Johnny the ukulele.
This is from the movie?
It's also from my album, A Touch of Ragtime.
Oh, we've seen it, yes.
Okay. I'm going to do it once for you. Then I'm going to teach you how to do it. It goes, Rufus Rastus. I'm going to do it very fast. But they got the words here for when it's your turn. Rufus Rastus Johnson Brown. What you going to do when the rent comes round? What you going to say? How you going to pay? And you never have a beer since the judgment day. Oh, you know, I know the rent means no. The landlord going to throw us in the cocoa snow. Rufus Rastus Johnson Brown. What you going to do when the rent comes round?
George Segal tries to teach while Johnny and Bob slowly become the problem students, as the ukulele lesson turns into a three-man comedy setup where the instrument adds to the comedy since it's so small and cheerful that nobody can look dignified holding it for long.
Right, first time.
How
Now
about
see
that?
yours. Take that and put it right here.
Put it right here.
Now that's right. No, up here, right here.
What? That's where I got it.
I'm gonna stand up now.
Discussing the rescuers down under.
From this great honor, I mean, I see here now, tomorrow, a Disney movie opens.
That's right.
Called The Rescuers Down Under. Mm-hmm. And you play the voice. You're not seen, I guess. You do the voice.
No, in a cartoon, you're not seen.
Of course. Thank you for the correction.
That's why they call them cartoons.
Cartoons, animated cartoons. Bernard the Mouse.
The mouse, yes.
Wow.
It's a sequel.
A sequel?
Sequel, yes. There was the Rescuers, and this is now the Rescuers Down Under.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's like Rocky 2, 3, 4.
It goes on and on. So this could be a
It is
career
Rocky,
thing for you.
It's a Rocky of the animation.
Newhart discusses the Rescuers Down Under with the same dry seriousness he'd bring to a nightclub story, while Carson lets him explain the animated film, then finds little openings for Bob's understated reactions. Newhart back on the couch in 1986.
This is the fourth nomination, and it really is true. I mean, I'm highly honored to be included. That's all. I mean, whether I win or lose.
I remember, I think it was just about a year before I started this show. 60, 61, you were working at CBS. Your show, was it 61?
It was NBC.
NBC. You were nominated for an Emmy, and the show was off before the Emmy cast came about or something like that.
Well, no. What happened was it was a show that year, everybody who got an Emmy, I didn't get an Emmy, but the show got an Emmy as the best comedy show.
Right.
Every show that got an Emmy had been canceled.
I remember that. It was very strange.
Dick Van Dyke had been canceled, and I'd been canceled, and we got an Emmy, and every show had been canceled. And as the names were announced, people in the audience were going, no.
The 1986 appearance has the relaxed confidence of a comic who has been on Carson enough times to know every inch of the couch as Bob doesn't arrive with frantic energy, but settles in and lets the laughs come to him without any urgency. Discussing the last Newhart finale.
So we put a scene in there where I get hit in the head with a golf ball. I go up to heaven, I have this conversation with God, who's George Burns, which we never intended to shoot. We never contacted George Burns, but the tabloids got, final episode of Newhart, Bob talks to George Burns. So the crew...
Did that really get published?
Yeah. No, they didn't say George Burns. They said Bob meets God, and it's either going to be George Burns or George C. Scott, one or the other. Is going to play God.
Newhart discussing the famous Newhart finale gives Johnny the perfect topic since the twist ending was already one of television's great comic tricks, as Bob talks about it with his usual modest delivery, making the enormous public reaction to the episode even funnier by contrast.
So we said, oh, okay, I fell for that. I told the writers knew, of course, because they had to write it. I told the cast that morning. We rehearsed all day. Final day, the crew went to dinner, and they came back, and we said, we've added a scene. So the camera A goes here, B goes here, C goes there, and just, there's your shot, and there's your shot. And just when we pull the floater.
He does not act like he pulled off a historic television moment, but almost sounds like he is explaining a practical household decision that happened to affect millions of viewers tuned in for what they thought was a standard series conclusion. Carson understands the size of the reveal and keeps giving Bob chances to enjoy it without bragging, making the interview generous and perfectly timed throughout. The Australia story.
I didn't do well.
Where's that?
in Australia. I did very poorly in
Well, now they
Australia.
speak English there also, don't
Yes,
they?
yes, they do. That's another of what we call the English-speaking countries.
Do you think it was because it's a big island? So maybe you did. Have you ever thought,
Well, of course,
thought of that? You completely.
Great Britain is a big island too, you know. So I don't think
No,
island had anything to do with it. I just we picked the wrong time.
Did they roll something across the ceiling just now? Yes. Upstairs?
The remastered May 1983 clip shows Newhart doing what he did better than almost anyone, which is taking a strange historical or cultural idea and making it sound like a customer service complaint directed politely at the universe for allowing such a situation to exist. The German humor section plays on his careful wording, while the Australia part lets him drift into another dry, absurd angle, giving the segment two distinct comic styles with the same delivery running through both. Johnny keeps watching him, like a man enjoying the slow mechanics of a perfect setup, letting Bob proceed without any attempt to redirect or assist. Bob's face stays nearly blank, and that blankness makes the sillier turns land harder, since there's no performance to signal the joke's location in the sentence. He never breaks into cartoon behavior, which is why the jokes feel so clean, compared to louder material from the same era of television. The hilarious 1983 Tonight Show interview.
You still dress conservatively with a vest? You don't see people wearing vests much anymore. You wear them well.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Some people can wear vests and other people can't. Found out a long time ago I could pull it off, and
It has a certain panache to it, you know. It gives you an image. But don't you just like to break loose occasionally? And...
Oh, I do, but an important show like this, I like to dress appropriately.
I see. In other words, you're playing...
Can we get to my notes? They're much
No,
funnier.
no, I don't want to get. I don't want to get to those at all.
He's doing that to me again.
Well, I want to make you feel comfortable.
Of course I feel comfortable.
I didn't mean that I didn't like your clothes.
The 1983 Carson appearance shows Newhart right in his comfort zone, telling stories with that exact mix of politeness and hidden absurdity that made even his most conventional appearances feel like they might suddenly turn strange at any moment. Johnny listens like a man who knows the joke may not explode immediately, but understands it will eventually sneak up on everyone in the room, and probably him too. The classic 1984 appearance.
And then when the show was over, you would have turned to Freddie and said, "I'm going to get him."
The fact I did it openly like this must be some nice quality. And
Oh, no, there are a lot of lovely qualities.
well, I haven't heard any of them. All I've got is this so far.
Did that feel natural?
Yeah, I kind of like that. Yes, I
know, they're
I
very-
sleep that way at night. Come to think of it, it's kind of a.
Well, that could be other things, too.
Loneliness is one of them, yes. Scorpios also have a tendency to be lonely.
Lonely,
and
yes.
sleep
Yes,
like this.
The 1984 appearance has that classic Newhart feel where a normal interview answer slowly turns sideways as Johnny starts with ordinary conversation. Then Bob finds the odd little corner inside the topic and stays there longer than any other comedian would dare to. What makes it funny is his complete refusal to signal when the joke has actually begun, leaving the audience to catch up on their own schedule, which becomes part of the pleasure rather than an obstacle. Carson clearly enjoys that rhythm, laughing at the precision more than the volume, showing what he always found most entertaining about Newhart, which was the architecture underneath the delivery rather than the delivery itself. Bob's humor depends on the idea that life is already absurd if someone describes it calmly enough, which is why even his most ordinary answers keep developing into something strange the longer he speaks without ever losing the tone of reasonable explanation. The 80s clip captures Newhart at the height of his Tonight Show confidence, which paradoxically looks identical to his least confident appearance, since his style never changed based on how well things were going or how large the audience was. Carson's easy laugh throughout shows an interviewer who knew he was watching something technically excellent, even when nothing in the room was getting loud enough to impress anyone who wasn't paying careful attention to the mechanics. Bob Newhart had dozens of interviews on Johnny Carson's Tonight Show and never once needed volume speed or a big physical gesture to break the room, because his entire approach was built on the radical idea that comedy lands hardest when it sounds like the person telling it is barely interested in whether you laugh. These 15 moments captured a comedian whose quietest nights consistently outfund most comics' loudest ones, showing that patience and a perfectly blank face were the most powerful weapons ever brought to that couch. Which Bob Newhart Tonight Show moment is your favorite? Drop your answer in the comments and subscribe for more classic comedy moments.